Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Bring It Back. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that were canceled and or short-lived that I would like to see get brought back in some shape or form. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the Fox show Sleepy Hollow. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Sleepy Hollow, this show is like kind of loosely based on the book, the Legends of Sleepy Hollow, which was also like adapted into a movie, Sleepy Hollow, I want to say 99 with Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci, if I remember correctly. And but basically this is kind of like telling that but kind of doing a remix of it. Basically it follows Ichabod Crane, who it was alive during like the American Revolution and like the whole like Declaration of Independence being signed and stuff like that. Like he was kind of involved in all that because he was kind of like on the British side, but then he became an American spy. It was a whole thing. But basically it's kind of like this horror fantasy drama where like him and the Headless Horseman ended up facing off. They both fall into like this 250-year like sleep, and they wake up modern day, and he meets this, I want to say she's a deputy at the time, and I want to say her name's Abby, I think that is Nicole Bahari's character. Basically, he joins forces with her, and it becomes like a battle against evil because they're these people known as witnesses. They're kind of like these two symbols that I think are people who are supposed to be kind of brought together by like divine stuff to be like the divine heroes of light versus the power of darkness. So they're crossing paths with the Headless Horseman, but also at the same time they're also dealing with like other like supernatural monsters and stuff like that. It was a really, really good show. Like aside from just all that stuff that went down, it was also like a good partnership between Ichabod and Abby. Like the dynamic between them was so good. Their partnership was also like one of the most compelling aspects of the show too. But it just told a very compelling story. I won't spoil anything for you, but like they do some really interesting things in the third season when it comes to the whole witness thing, in particular the season 3 finale, and then like they take it and kind of do their own thing with it in season 4. That was really, really interesting as well. But sadly the show was canceled after its fourth season, which I was kind of bummed about. If I could, I'd bring the show back for at least one more season without spoiling it, because technically if you look at the season 4 finale for what it is, like the fact of the matter is it could also serve a bit as a series finale, just because like a lot of stuff is closed but enough stuff is left open for obviously there to be more story to tell. So like if you wanted to, you can almost look at the 4th season's finale as kind of like a end all to the show, but obviously there's still more story open to tell. It would just be kind of so and obviously that's why I would want a 5th season for this show, because I feel like you could finish this story, like finish this entire arc, everything with one more season. To be fair, like if you want to twist my arm and it's like, oh, let's make it an even 6, fine, I'll suffer through this show that I really like for 2 more seasons if you force me to, geez, so but I think because it also a bummer too, because like in the 4th season, because like you can almost look at it as not necessarily but somewhat a soft reboot happened in the 4th season. Like we got introduced to a lot of new characters, and sadly we only got 1 season with these new characters. I would love to see where their stories kind of went going forward, especially the whole witness situation, the way it was set up in season 4. It's like, where would that have taken us in season 5? Like what would that have been look like? Like I said, there's a lot of interesting stuff. Like one of the things that got set up at the end of the season, I'm like, that could definitely be something they deal with in like a 5th and final arc, 5th and final season, like to kind of finish that arc. But it also could be something that they kind of, fully like develop, and it could go into a 6th and final season. Like at the bare minimum, I would want at least 1 more season to wrap this up. Like I said, you want to give me 6? I'm totally fine with that. I mean, 6 is in 2 more seasons and giving us a 6th season. You know what I'm trying to say? But it was a really good show. I am curious where you could find it. I'm sure you can find it on digital everywhere, but I'm like curious, like streaming service wise. Like I'm not aware of any that are you can find it on, but if I do find out any while I'm editing this video, I'll include an annotation to say like, oh, you can find it here. So, but really, that's all I want to talk about. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good